This is Movies in Contemplation with Jarokk and...
Oh, am I talking to you?
Jesus, yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for joining us again. Hopefully everyone's taking a nice little break from their Disney Plus binge that I think all of us are doing right now.
I know that I'm not taking a break.
Oh my god.
Dude, I am binging everything. Gargoyles, all kinds of shit right now. I'm losing it.
I'm going through the opposite. Like, this wonderful thing that came to us it's overwhelming for me because it has everything. Mm-hmm. I get anxiety. It's so bad that I can't pick anything. I don't know what to watch first.
Yeah.
Because there's too many options, and that's what happens for me. Like, when there's so many options, I don't pick anything. Like, right. I haven't really been using it like you have.
Yeah. Well, I'm just seeing everything from the childhood, and I'm like watching it.
Yeah, I don't know how to...
Gave The Mandalorian a go. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
all right.
That's more your thing, but... Mm-hmm. Well, I'll get there someday. I'll overcome
the
anxiety of it. There's just so much.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start.
There's a lot. I know. Yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying Disney Plus.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, this is your pick.
This is my pick.
Start us off.
This is With Honors. This is 1994. Joe Pesci, Brendan Fraser, blah, 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 Patrick Dempsey, and Moira Kelly. And you'd all would know her voice if you're Lion King fans. That's Nala.
I left to find help, and I found you. Don't you understand? You're our only hope.
Yeah, the original
Nala.
And
she played Nala in every other thing,
everything,
too. Yeah.
From the movies, all the movies.
Except for this new thing. B took it over. Beyonce.
Yeah, well, I
haven't seen it yet.
No, she shouldn't have been, but it's fine. Well, with the times. But she was even in the storybooks.
Yeah.
As well, mm-hmm. When you get to hear their voices, she's credited.
Yes.
It's all on IMDb. She's done everything with Nala, so it's great because obviously when you watch this movie, you hear it's her voice. She doesn't really do much to really characterize. That's her speaking voice. It's just so calming and voice of reason and Nala.
She's beautiful voice.
It's freaking Nala. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the wine for today, you picked?
I did pick. My choices were limited because I was at CVS. I didn't feel like going anywhere else, but I knew that this was a good pick for you because you like this one.
This is one of my favorite ones.
You love it. Ravage. And I feel like... Ravage. But the art on the label, it's very medieval.
Yeah.
Two knights jousting. But I picked it not just for that, but our little Patrick Dempsey playing Everett. We'll get more into his character once we get into the movie. He has this thing for wine where he likes to pair up his woman of interest with the wine pick for his date.
Yeah.
And also I've been doing a little bit of a American Horror Story kind of binge and people reviewing the show.
Oh, yeah.
And season 2 with Asylum, that red lipstick, Ravish Me Red.
Oh, the Ravish Me Red.
Yes, that was in it. But I feel like the Dempsey character, Everett, would be now is Claudia a Ravish Me Red Cabernet? Or is she a creamy, dreamy Chardonnay?
Ooh, creamy, dreamy.
Mm-hmm.
If I drank Chardonnay, that would make me want to drink one. But
I know, so that's the thing. I was actually thinking of this, because we are red people. Mm-hmm. If you listen to our podcast at least once or twice, you know that
we drink the red.
We like the reds, but I feel what if we get to a point where we run out of reds?
We will never run out of reds.
I know.
We don't go to the whites.
I know.
We don't fuck with the whites. We're the reds. Moving on.
Oh, God. Anyways, so what about this movie speaks to you, made you want to pick it?
Oh, my God. I love this movie. This was a childhood. In this, 94 for me was just such a great year for movies. in general. You know, Lion King came out. This came out. So much shit came out in 94. But this movie was something that I remember, like, as a child. I was like, man, I love it. My mother loved this movie. And I think I liked this movie so much because Joe Pesci made me laugh so hard. I loved him in Home Alone. Brendan Fraser, obviously. I loved Brendan Fraser growing up. Obviously, like George the Jungle and all that goofy shit was after this. After.
Well, yeah. He had to, it took some time for him to get that body.
Yeah, right. But I fucking love this movie. It's such a special place. And this movie just, it tells you a story about just life and how honestly people should look at life and how you should look at other people.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. That's where I really feel this movie is because of that kind of thing.
And I can really see that with you because, well, this gives me a bit of like a Scent of a Woman vibe.
Yeah.
And I think just doing a little bit of research about like just what other people thought of the movie. Like I like to look at like audience reviews, and someone said, that this movie was coming off of trying to get the same type of attention that Scent of a Woman did, which fine, whatever. If that's just what someone said. It's an opinion, but it is kind of like the same theme. It's a young student who thinks, that going into college and getting into like the highest form of education that he's going to get, that's how he's going to succeed in life, but then meets someone that's older who has actually lived life and learn, and they both teach each other something. It's two totally different generations. You know, you can teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing, or
and the difference between the Son of the Woman and this is obviously Frank was just a hard-ass military guy. This is a harmless, homeless, just man that looks at life as, I won't say a joke per se, but he's just goofy. That's how he portrays himself, to be funny and witty and...
Yeah, but there's also there is a lot of hurt with that.
A lot of hurt.
With that comedy that he puts out there, that character of his, and that's why a lot of, like with comedians, like comedy comes from pain.
Exactly.
You know? And that's what I think really made his character very fully realized. Because he wasn't just this kooky old bum that just goes, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. No.
I never heard of the movie until...
Never heard. That's right.
No, and I don't know why. I think, I don't know, it just didn't come across my path. Like, do you remember, like, how, when you first watched it?
Yeah, I had it on VHS. My mom bought it. I don't know if one of my sisters bought it or if I wanted this I can't remember. Okay. I can't remember if my mom bought it because I was like, oh my god, that's
the Home
the
Alone
guy from
guy.
Home Alone.
Yeah,
that's Harry.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she bought it because of that, but I remember my mom bought it on VHS and we watched it, and we all loved it. We would all laugh. I didn't understand a lot of the comedy, but I fucking laughed my ass off because
we were young in 94.
You said it. He made me just say, oh boy. Like every time he would do something, it'd just be like, well, lady, can I have a muffin? Oh, don't ask her for a muffin. Yeah. Don't ask her for a glazed donut. He won't get you a glazed donut.
Yeah, but I never knew that this movie existed until you had it already on DVD. Yeah. Right? When we first moved in together. Yeah. So it was great because it was a 90s movie. Love the 90s.
Love the 90s.
The nostalgia of it all. And it was like, a nice brand new movie for me to watch with some great actors that are, for the most part, most of them are still working. And
a lot of them were young.
Very young.
Oh, they were young.
Forever young. Oh my god, that's even in the movie.
They had to, was it?
The end, yeah.
Oh yeah. They were all, they all had to have been in their 20s for this.
Yeah, it was, Harvard college movie. Ready to dive in?
All right, let's dive. So the movie opens up with Everett, Patrick Dempsey, and he's doing his radio show.
He's like the Harvard radio DJ.
Yeah, the Harvard radio DJ, and he has this black cock that, that's his mascot.
What's its name?
What the fuck was that chicken's name? Corky.
It was a rooster.
It was a rooster. Black cock rooster, Corky. Yeah, or actually more gray cock, but that's alright. Black gray cock. He had a biracial cock.
He had shades of gray.
Shades of gray cock. Yeah. So, he had this hilarious cock, and he would use that as like his little mascot. And he's talking about the author Walt Whitman, and he's saying that people are seeing his ghost in the Harvard Library. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about that. He's bringing that up, and then we cut to Maura Kelly, Courtney, in the movie. Nala. We cut to Nala, and she's running with her pack of.
Is it like the track team?
I'm assuming she's the captain.
Yeah,
that's what I'm assuming. A woman captain with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
like,
I think she was probably the only woman on the track team.
Yeah, because Fraser makes that joke when he comes around and he's like dodging and in between all the dudes.
Outrunning all of them.
Everybody ignore him! And then he just runs up and he goes, "Oh, well, you're just not a leader of men, Courtney." And she's just like, "Oh, bitch.
Fuel the fire.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, oh, Bill.
Oh, Bill." We cut to Monty and Everett, and they're both walking. Everett's father pulled his funds.
Well, he's a trust fund kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like when we meet these college students, very cliche, like 90s college students. Like Everett is the trust fund baby who is like just like that pretentious college guy that just he thinks he is worldly. He loves wine. He speaks in Shakespearean. Like he
I suppose father's marrying sister.
Yeah. Montague.
Lord Montague.
Yes.
That's my favorite. I love Everett.
Why does that face look so forlorn? I don't know what he says exactly.
That's essentially.
But yeah, he's like he tries to be more cultured than he actually is.
Yeah.
But I feel like he does it because he's a ladies' man.
Oh, yeah.
He uses his pretentious, I'm very eclectic, worldly college man who's also kind of an artist because I'm also like a DJ. I have a radio show and I have every wine known to man.
Right, and he sure did. They must have had like a cellar.
I don't know.
Well, they had a cellar, but they must have had wine like in the cellar or
his parents did, or like they must be like wine connoisseurs or something. I don't know.
It's interesting. That is a question.
Yeah.
Nala was obviously the
almost like she was like a feminist in a way where she hangs out with a lot of guys, and that could be a choice. Or that was her, because it was also, like, her roommates, it was all guys.
All guys, yeah.
So she would, I don't know.
Like, she has that moment where she would go in, like, they were all talking, cocks and bums.
Yeah.
And she walks in and goes, "Oh, are we comparing cocks and bums?"
Yeah.
Like, and...
You're like, she also says, like, we're all guys here.
Yeah, we're all guys here. She's like, "My legs are turning into Christmas trees." Courtney!
Yeah.
Ugh!
Yeah. Like, the guys can't let go of the fact that...
She's a girl.
She is a girl.
Yeah.
Which is... cool, it's great.
Everett's the only one that I think can, because there was that moment where she asked Everett, she was like, "Can I borrow some condoms?" "No, but you can have some."
Yeah.
He's like, "What is this, an endurance test?"
More like a pop quiz.
Right. She pulls out like 6 fucking packs. But he had like a bucket of condoms.
He had like a barrel.
Like a barrel of condoms.
A barrel of condoms.
It's like, my dear God, sir.
That's so college, but hey, way to be safe.
Right.
But I don't know, like, I see her as like this, like in the 90s, you would see her as, she's trying to be like one of the guys, or she's, I don't want to say like, because she's not slutty, she's only sleeping with one other guy.
Yeah, the face.
But like, she's kind of being stereotypical guy, like where she's just dating the guy because he has a nice face or he has a nice body, and he's like, "Oh well," or she goes, "Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make up again because I want to get some." Like, but she is very sex positivity.
Yeah.
She's like this college student that really owns her sexuality and is not afraid to be around other guys. She doesn't like dress like a dude.
No, absolutely not.
But she doesn't dress very prissy.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked her.
Monty, your typical leading man.
Mm-hmm. His hair.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser's hair, that was like those type of hairstyles you would see in like Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
Where it's like slicked on the sides, back, and then they would have this like poofy top, and then that single strand down the middle. Mm-hmm. I wish you guys can all see this, but I'm like trying to recreate it.
I know you've got it.
Because I actually have.
You're rocking the Tiger Beat.
I do have Brendan Fraser's hair in this movie. Like,
you do.
For sure, I really do. But for the 90s gals out there, girls would kind of do the same thing, except it would be 2 strands on each side.
Yeah.
That was very 90s, very 2000s.
Yep, and Courtney rocked that. Nala
Pieces.
rocked that shit.
Yeah, it was like, they call it like the PCs, flyaways that you would have like in front of your face.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got them, and then Brendan Fraser goes into. He has to go talk to his professor.
It's like his thesis mentor.
Yeah, his mentor, Pitt Cannon. That was his name.
Pitt Cannon.
Actor Gore Vidal, I believe. But Pitt Cannon is his name. And he goes in, and Pitt Cannon's asking him for the thesis, and Brendan Fraser's all like, Chapter 1. He goes, oh, from memory, Monty? And Mr. Kessler. And he starts saying his chapter, and then he's like, stand up, I like to look at my target. Or some shit like that. Very like...
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he's like, stand up. I like to look at my target. To say whatever, dude. Pitt Cannon was kind of an ass.
Well, yeah.
And,
we kind of get that.
Typical professor. But, so he tells him to stand up. Monty starts doing it. And Pitt Cannon is blowing his nasal spray into his nose, trying to distract
Well, it's like...
Monty.
It's either he's trying to distract him, or he really just isn't that interested or invested than he, like, originally, I guess, came off.
True.
Because he's supposed to be his mentor. He's supposed to help him and...
Yeah,
and
he's
guide
showing,
him
like,
in the
no
right
interest.
direction. Yeah, no interest. Even though when you figure out that throughout this movie, Monty is pretty much writing the thesis that's going to make the professor happy.
Right.
It really has nothing to do with what he really believes in. It's just this is what you want to hear, so I can get where I want to go.
Right.
Like, Monty is so goal oriented and wants to succeed. It's like, okay, I cannot do well unless I graduate with honors. You know, got to be at the top of the class.
Yeah, so that's what he does. So he does all that, and then goes home. And here's where we really see the college life.
Yes.
When he goes home, because this took me back too. I'm sure it took you.
Oh yeah.
But it was like he walks into his house, and here is all of his roommates. You know, everybody has cooking days. So everybody, like, one of them cooks Wednesdays, the other Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and everybody shares food. Obviously, we tried this once, like, where we all would try to... That shit doesn't work. I don't give a shit who you are.
It doesn't work.
It does not work. Everybody has to be every man for themselves
Yeah.
when it comes to food and living with a roommate. Because when you try to do shit like that, it's chaos. It ends up spending more money than it's worth. Which Jeff, Josh Hamilton,
yeah.
he's Mr.
He's...
I don't know how the hell you say it,
Well,
Mr. Prissy.
He's like I guess you would call him kind of like the uptight nerd who...
Yeah.
This is probably his first time being out of the nest. Like, he was probably very coddled.
Very much, actually, yeah, because he even says that. What if my mom comes with her weekend visits?
Yeah, he's very...
she always surprises us.
Very
like, when
scared
she
of his
comes.
mom. I'm sure that he's like a mama's boy, and he obviously is very uptight because he wants to do well.
Yeah.
You know, just as much as everyone else. Because, you know, Harvard, like, I've never known anyone that's been to Harvard. I've only known Harvard through movies.
Right.
And I'm hoping it's not like that, but it just sounds so highly competitive that it produces stress and anxiety for the students more than it really should be.
Yeah.
It's just it's that name.
Mm-hmm.
You want
Harvard,
you
yeah.
want Harvard on your fucking resume for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You think that's gonna make you happy?
Look like some flunky from Yale. Yeah, I love that they would.
And they make fun of
they
Yale.
Make fun of Yale.
Yeah.
Go to a Harvard-Yale football game. Come on.
Yeah, but Jeff is like a med student, so
Yeah.
that's his kind of thing. And they always make fun of him.
They do make fun
Yeah,
of him.
yeah.
He's the butt of every joke.
Yeah, he's the punching bag.
So they're doing all that. They're having dinner, and then Monty goes upstairs to use his computer. Mm-hmm. And as he's using it, and we've all felt this, I'm sure. He's about to print out his thesis.
I think he's like making a copy of it because
He's making
he
a copy.
only had
He
one
only had
copy.
So he's making a copy. He's about to print everything out, and his hard drive crashes. And the power goes out. One of the light bulbs like blows up in the kitchen, and Maura and Patrick Dempsey, they're like, what the hell was that? And you just hear Monty, no! Like, freak out, and they're all like, Monty! They all run upstairs to go see if he's okay. And he's sitting there, and now he's, like, hyperventilating. He's on the floor. Mm-hmm. Courtney's trying to fix the computer. She's like, your hard drive is crashed, dude. Like, there's nothing you can do. He goes, I'm going to go make copies wherever. I'm going to go get it.
And that computer.
Oh, God, yeah. That.
Talk about, really taking you back on how computers were and how, it just completely crashed. And there's...
the black-green lettering.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It takes us back.
But yeah, he wants to make copies at the library or something, right?
Something, not the library. He's trying to go somewhere, but I don't know where, because the library was closed. But he does go, and he's showing off. He's running with Courtney, and then he trips, fucks up his leg, and drops his thesis into the vent, and it goes in the boiler room of the library. Mm-hmm. So the library's closed, and Courtney's like, all right, well, I know the guard. I'm going to sneak you in. So they go in.
Here's my question. Why... I'm thinking this is just probably for the movie, but why is the library not available? Not even just available. You can't go up to the security guard and be like, "Hey, I dropped something. Can I go in there and pick it up? This is very important." Why was the library so? Oh my gosh! Don't be caught walking into the library, or else you're going to be in big trouble.
Right. I'll go ahead and say that was for the movie aspect, because if you get the security guard and then we go downstairs into the basement and we see what we're about to talk about, then we kind of lose the movie. You know what I mean? That's what I think is what they were doing with that.
It's just setting us up.
Or it was just their kids. We're not thinking about that. We're not thinking about saying, our first instinct is we got to break into the library.
Yeah, okay.
No, we got to break into this house. We just threw a ball into this house. I got to get my ball back. Let me go jump the fence and just get it.
Why don't you just knock on the door? I'd have gotten it for you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
For sure. That's smart.
Yeah, they sneak in. They go... Brendan Fraser goes down into the boiler room. Mm-hmm. And he's walking around, and then he walks into a room in the back. Mm-hmm. And you see books. You see lanterns. You see all these things all over the place, like beer cans. Mm-hmm. And you see Joe Pesci. Simon is his name in the movie. Yeah. You see Simon, burning...
Careful.
His thesis. He's burning... couple pages thrown in the fire, and Brendan Fraser's like, no! And then Pesci just doesn't even hesitate. Gets up, starts swinging a fucking pipe, and is trying to hit Brendan.
He's ready to throw down.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser falls back, and then he almost hits his nuts, and he's just like, he goes, I need that, that's mine. He goes, finders, keepers, loser, weepers. All that. He's just being that funny Simon. And he's like, I need this. That's my thesis. That's my life. Oh, this piece of garbage is yours. Is it Harvard?
He starts mocking.
He's like, is that what this piece of shit's supposed to be? Is it?
That's pretty good.
So he's sitting there, and he's like, all right, well, look, I need to get it back. And he goes, you give me a thing, I'll give you a page. For every page you give me, for everything you give me, I will give you a page.
Yeah.
Every thesis. And he's like, I want a glazed donut. I want a pair of new underpants. I want all this. Brendan Fraser's like, this is ridiculous. So he goes and he calls campus security. Yeah. And he has the police come. Well, Pesci's smart. Gives assuming that the kid was going to do it, goes and hides the thesis. Mm-hmm. And Pesci getting arrested, he has that hilarious courtroom scene where the judge comes out and the judge is like, anybody who feels they are non-guilty, please step forward. Pesci's the only one out of 10 people that steps forward. Everybody else is saying they're guilty. And he's just like, Simon B. Wilder, judge. He's like, I want to say as a tax-paying citizen, I demand. He's like, when was the last time you paid taxes? 3 times last week. He's like, you paid taxes 3 times. And he says, yes, sir, there's a county tax on wine, or whatever the fuck he says. Yeah. There's a, whatever he says.
Sales tax.
Something, sales tax. He bought wine and had to pay the tax on wine. So he was like, there's tax on wine.
That qualifies as paying taxes.
So I was like, that's hilarious. And then they were like, well, you were drunk. So he's naming off the judges, naming off all these charges of when he was arrested for drunken intoxication. And Pesci is throwing out these amazing lines of just...
At the time of my arrest, I was neither driving an automobile or operating heavy farm equipment. I was sitting alone reading.
I am well above the drinking age. I can do this. If I want to get the winter chill, that's fine.
Yeah, you're starting to learn that he knows the system.
Yeah, very well. So he drops all these charges. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. Yeah. And he gets held in contempt.
Yeah.
So he was like $50 or 50 days. So that was his option. And then Brendan Fraser pays the fine, gets him out. It is all like, let's do the deal again. Let's try to do this deal.
He's trying to redeem himself from getting him arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pesci's like, what do you see when you look at me? He's like, I see a man. He goes, wrong. You see a piece of shit, Harvard. Because I had a fucking palace. I had a beautiful place. 17 bathrooms and books as far as the eye can see. And you took that away from me. You know why I need a place to live? Because of you. Like, all of that. And it hits you to the core.
It does.
Like, dude, fuck, man.
And that's why I think Joe Pesci does such a good job, because, yes, he has all these really goofy moments and, like, kooky, funny lines, but then he just switches and becomes this, okay, this is dark it is for someone that is homeless. That was a palace to him. Like, he really did, like, as someone that, like, doesn't really own anything, when he finally like had something that kind of felt like his own and it got taken away from him again, like that's going to still, as many times as it happened to him where he gets kicked out of places or things get taken away from him, it still fucking hurts. So he completely switched from being silly to, okay, yeah, there's something about this character that I want to know more of, because he's more than just this goofball, fast-talking, witty, homeless guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So all that, and then Harvard takes him back to Harvard, as in Brendan Fraser. Takes him to his place, and he lets him sleep in his ex-roommate's van.
Yeah.
So
it's like
he's
this VW...
Yeah. Just
van,
this,
yeah.
Yeah, an old piece of shit.
Like, you would take that to Burning Man.
You would. You would. You would take it to Burning Man. So he is sitting there, and he's like, I want to stay in the house. What's wrong with the house? He's like, well, it's full. You can't live in the house. You're going to stay here. And he goes and gets him dinner. And this is where we start to see Jeff as a little bitch. Because
God.
Fraser's like, I'm going to get seconds if anybody's fine with that. Everybody's like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Jeff's like, you still owe from last week.
Yeah, like keeping tabs on money.
And we've all had that roommate, man.
Oh, yeah.
God,
very
we all
frugal,
had that roommate.
like, God, like keeping score.
Yeah.
I hate
like,
that.
Well, you didn't pay enough for this bill. Like, you didn't do this. And it's like, fuck off, I'll get it to you.
Like, I'm sure he has a chart somewhere in his room.
Yeah.
Like, who pays what bill and when, what
totally.
chores. And
Totally.
Mama's boy.
Yep. So, Fraser goes out, gives him the food. And now all of his roommates are seeing, yeah, there's this old guy here. Everett and Jeff are starting to kind of say, we don't want him staying out there. Courtney's like the more down-to-earth person. Courtney's all like, he's a human being, Monty. Like, get him a blanket.
Yeah, she's the first person to say that.
Yeah. She's like, and you start to see, like, Fraser and Courtney, they do have this little love thing going for them.
Yeah.
More or less him. He's got a crush on her.
Yeah, you can see that right away that he does have a crush.
Yeah.
But she, like, I can see the crush in her, just, I don't know, woman's intuition.
Yeah.
But she's kind of playing that little game of, well, he's not really making a move, so I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the face.
Yeah,
Yep.
the face. Make him jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very common with movies,
Yeah.
like 90s, early 2000s. Like, the woman does not take a stand and just say, hey, I know you like me. I like you. Come on, let's just fucking do this. Let's stop playing games.
The man always has to take charge.
It's
how it
it's
is.
stupid, it's silly, and I definitely fell victim to that type of mentality, and I'm glad that I grew out of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
movies, man.
Movies.
Influences.
Oh, yeah. So, that Fraser goes and gives Pesci a blanket.
Yes.
Because he does have that little sentimental... And you start to see, like, he is starting to see Simon as a human being. Mm-hmm. He is sitting there, he tucks him in, and Simon feels that.
He does. You see his eyes open a little bit.
Yeah, he opens and he just kind of is looking. He, like, does that, like, when your mom comes and tucks you in and you're trying not to show your mom that you're awake, but you really care that she just did it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he was given. So the next day, Simon's running up. He gives him 3 pages.
More than he said he would.
Yeah, he was like, here, it was extra for the blanket because you gave me a blanket. You did a kind gesture. He was like, well, the blanket was just a gift. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just charity.
Yeah. Grand
Nothing.
gesture.
Yeah. And he's like, well, whatever, I'm giving you this page because I appreciated the blanket. Do you want me to hold your books? Books aren't about the deal. And he's like, just let me hold your books, Harvard. Come on.
It still has that huge guard up. Like, wait, how much is this going to cost me? Like, how many...
Yeah, Fraser was still like, yeah, what is that going to cost? He's like, I'm trying to be kind here for the blanket.
Yeah.
Just, you gave me a blanket, let me do this.
So I don't know if we mentioned Monty Fraser, he broke his ankle. Or his foot.
Did. I forgot about that.
So he's on crutches.
Yeah, he fucked his leg up, and he is on crutches, and that's why Pesci's like, "Let me hold your books." And
because it's winter right now, so it's snowing. It's
yeah, we're like in the tail end of. See, this movie kind of jumps because it opens in November. We're in November.
Yeah.
And then days upon days go by, and I guess that's what some of the montages are that we have throughout the movie. Because we do go ahead. Like, we're in November, and then all of a sudden we're at Christmas, and then all of a sudden we're at New Year's. So it's like the movie jumps.
I think it kind of makes sense because at first, like, Joe Pesci's character is saying, "I'm going to give you a page,
And there are 88 pages. Yeah.
Yeah.
88 pages. And,
so I guess
83 pages.
Oh, 80. Oh, yeah.
83 pages now.
Yeah, so I guess that's their way of like justifying how much they jumped was because he started out giving him a couple pages here and there, and we'll discuss throughout the movie it changes.
Doing all that, so then they go to the library.
Yes.
And this is Pesci's first time
actually inside the library,
looking through the top. Like, he's never actually been, and he even said he's like marveling at how beautiful it is. And he's just like, boy, a lot of light up here. I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes you think, like, how long has he been in the boiler room? Like, when was So he's up there, and they have that cute little moment where they're sitting there, and this is where you mentioned about the son of a woman thing, because he starts talking about women.
Yes.
And he's like, women are the perfect joy and the perfect ache. Joy when you wake up in the morning and you see him. Ache when you leave him. Joy, ache, joy, ache, joy, ache, joy, ache, joy. All that shit. And then the librarian shishes him, and he just looks over and he's just like, but he and Brendan have this moment where Brendan Fraser is like, why'd you call me a loser? Like, why am I a loser?
Yeah,
what
it's like
makes
all of a
me
sudden,
a loser?
like, why do you care what this homeless man thinks about you?
Why are you calling? Yeah, exactly. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's the pot calling the kettle black, huh? And then he has that moment of saying, losers are people that don't do anything. Winners in races, they run not to win. They run for, like, the fun of it. Something along that aspect.
You know what? I took a screenshot of it because it actually is. I want to do a new segment, which is like favorite line of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And this, for me, was it. Winners forget they're in a race. They just love to run.
Exactly.
You try too hard. That's what makes you a loser.
Yes.
Yeah, losers try to win.
Thank God for you and notes.
I know. I'm the shit. Yeah, winners.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah.
Fuck me, right?
Oh my God. And that really speaks to me because it's so fucking true. Like, if you love doing something and it's not for any type of benefit, it's not to win or to get that trophy, and a winner doesn't, I feel like a winner wouldn't want to be called a winner. It's just, hey, this is just what I like to do, and if I'm succeeding at it, awesome, but that's not why I'm doing it. But yeah, Brendan Fraser, like, he's trying so hard to be that perfect Harvard student.
Yeah.
And trying to be the winner. He's trying to be the hero. And Joe Pesci's like, well, he says, like, well, because you mentioned pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
It's not that. You're a loser. I'm a quitter.
Exactly.
There's a difference between being a loser and a quitter.
Exactly.
Yeah. And none of them are winners. Like, he's even, like, we'll get there, but when Joe Pesci's character really calls it like it is. Like, he's like, I'm a quitter. I'm a bum.
I gave up on life. This is how, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. He's owning up. He owns up to his shit and doesn't sugarcoat. Anything.
Nope. Now they're going back home, and we see, and I forgot, Everett goes out.
That's right.
Everett goes out to talk to Pesci.
Because he's very inquisitive about Joe Pesci. Like, he really is.
He finds him fascinating.
Yes, fascinating.
And you know what? And I will say this: Patrick Dempsey, Everett, he and Pesci. I love Everett in this movie.
Yeah, Their rapport is very, very good, very
Yes.
organic. It's like when they have conversations, like you can tell that they're both so kind of like intrigued by each other.
Yeah.
And it almost kind of like steals the chemistry between Brendan Fraser.
Exactly. Absolutely.
But Brendan Fraser really does pull it off and really really he rises to the occasion and really he changes.
Yeah.
Well, both of them do. You find out in the end. But anyway, yeah, the exchange with the van.
Yeah, he's talking about the van. He's like, well, Pesci's like, why don't you just sell the van? You know, if it doesn't work. And he's like, well, it doesn't work. He goes, well, I'll fix it for you. And he goes, oh, are you a mechanic? No, but how many bottles of wine are you willing to give me if you...
He like calls himself like a Buddhist or something. He's
yeah, I'm a Buddhist, so I'm close enough.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. I'm a Zen Buddhist. That's what
yes, Zen Buddhist, yes.
And Everett's like, okay, well, I'll give you 7 bottles of wine. Pesci's like, 8. He goes, okay. Or no, he says, I'll give you 6 bottles of wine. Pesci's like, 8. He goes, okay, 7. 8. He goes, all right, 9, but that's my final offer.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I love that line.
That's the best, like, haggle thing I've ever heard on film.
I love that so much. He just, all right, 9, but that's my final offer. He just goes above Pesci's offer.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because he can afford it, because he has apparently, like...
His dad gives him all kind of money, but his dad does, like, that's what his dad was saying, you're in the red. And how many of us have been in the red as children? I'm sure all of us.
Absolutely.
I've overdrawn my poor mother's account probably multiple times in high school.
My God, I was in, like, credit card debt, like, when I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
Like, from being in college, 3,000 miles away.
Honestly, it wasn't my mother's account, it was my account. But, yeah, I overdrew the fuck out of it. But, yeah, he's on, like, his dad's. His dad just sends him money all the time.
Simon starts to kind of, like, become Monty's new mentor.
Exactly.
Because that other, that tight-ass Harvard guy.
Buchanan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really wasn't trying to teach him anything, or I'm pretty sure that professor knew nothing about Monty.
Oh, no.
He didn't ask anything about...
All he knew was his students' names.
Yeah.
That's about
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
That is about it, and we will get there.
Yeah, and like Joe Pesci, like, I'm hoping that we're on the right track, which I think we are, when Joe Pesci starts to ask questions about his father.
We are.
Is that, am I correct, or something else goes on?
Yeah, it's about that, but before that, Monty tries to get Simon to get money from the government.
Collect Social Security.
Yeah. He wants nothing to do with it. Simon wants absolutely nothing to do with it. He's like, no.
He wants to stay off the grid.
Yeah, he's like, well, you need money. He's like, no, I don't. You need money, and I don't need it. Like, you want me to get money so that you can get rid of me.
That's right. And then we get introduced to the Stones, right?
Yeah. And then he talks about it. He goes, let me show you my life. This is my life. And then he brings out this bag of stones. And everywhere he goes, he picks up a stone and he puts a memory in the stone. So, like, he had his last good night's sleep before he was homeless in Bali. And then he has a woman that we just know of. The one woman of his life.
Yeah, the love of his life.
And he starts talking about all that. But then, now he's talking to Monty, and they're talking about his father. He's like, didn't your dad ever play ball with you? And then you find out that Monty was raised by his mom and his uncle. Yeah,
the father is like a very touchy subject. Like, he automatically just got completely uncomfortable and was like, he went into like total dodge mode.
Yeah.
Of, no, we're not talking about this. This is not.
This isn't my life. Isn't part of the deal. We're not talking about me.
Yeah, still keeping the deal as like the main reason for their relationship.
Yeah.
It's still the deal. It's not that, that's something developing. It's like, no, this is a business transaction that you and I have to go through. I'm thinking it's that I have to go through in, like, Brendan Fraser's mind. This is happening to me.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Like, my life is ruined. It's not that anyone else's life is ruined. This is my life.
Yeah. So he's talking about it, but Pesci's pushing. And then eventually Fraser caves and tells him, his father left when he was really young, married another woman, started a new family, and the only time he ever heard from his father was letters.
Yeah.
Father only called him one time. I don't even know if he did call him. He just sent him letters. And then he said when he got into Harvard, he sent him a letter saying how proud he was and then his dad died.
Well, and he also said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't help with your tuition."
That's right. I can't help with your tuition. That's right. So that's Monty hates his father. Doesn't even want to talk about him. That's when you find out his mom raised him. His uncle helped.
Yeah, took him to Little League.
Little League, yeah. Uncle Bill took me to Little League. And then he asks Simon, he's like, so what about that woman? You tell me about your woman. He goes, none of your goddamn business.
Yeah.
Like, he just gives you that shit.
Like, that's funny, and then it gets really cute because they're walking through the snow, and they start playing catch.
Yeah.
Together.
They start playing ball.
Yeah, playing ball. Monty's using his crutches as like a bat.
Yeah, it was really adorable.
It was, really cute.
We missed the bathtub scene, which I do really love, because I do have a funny story. When I was in high school, a friend of mine did come over one time, and I was in the bathtub. I was taking a bubble bath.
A little bubble bath.
I was taking a bubble bath. And I was actually singing that song because I knew his ass came into the house. I was like, yeah, dude, just walk in. And he walks in, I hear him. I'm like, my eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. And I was mimicking this scene. And he just opens the bathroom door and just walks in on me. And I just stand up, fucking, anaconda out. And I just stand up and I'm like, he who was, and I do that moment, and he was like, what the fuck is your problem? And I was like, you're the one who walked in the bathroom, bitch.
Yeah,
and then
your
it
house.
was just really funny. But that was my story. I mimicked that scene.
Yeah.
But you start to see now, he's taking the bath. Monty is now starting to really show, like,
he's shedding layers.
Yeah, he's shedding his, I am starting to see this man as a human.
Yes.
And Jeff comes in, makes a fucking fit.
But even like the other roommates, except for Jeff.
Except for Everett.
You're right.
Jeff throws a fit, and then Courtney, believe it or not, because he was wearing her bathrobe.
That's right.
That's where it kind of stepped into her toes, because she was like, "That's my bathrobe,"
and it smells.
She's like, "Yeah," and it smells. And it smells fantastic.
Yeah.
Or whatever. She was like, Monty, this is out of control. He's like, what is your problem, huh?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Everett comes in and is just quiet. He doesn't say shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't get dressed unless I have a beer. It's the last thing I can do.
It's just one of my tics.
Can't get dressed unless I have a beer. Oh, is this a lover's quarrel?
Yeah.
Should I leave? She was like, what about my robe? He goes, fine. If that's how you feel, don't let me catch you any of my things.
He starts
taking the robe off. And she's like, keep it.
Keep it.
The robe, and he's like, thank you. I don't know if I can live here. I hope my summer house is ready soon. He just starts doing all that. It's just so fucking funny.
But it's just so adorable.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he's doing, like, oh, God.
I can't do this podcast unless I have a beer.
Okay.
I can't.
Well,
I just can't. You keep talking.
Do you got one for me?
I got two.
All right.
I can't get dressed. I don't know if I can live here.
I don't know if he can live here anymore. Ladies, gents, and everyone in between, if he has a beer.
We've only got 2 beers left.
I don't know if
I can live here. I hope my summer brew is ready by the time we're done with this podcast.
We already went through the wine, and now we're going to beer.
Yeah, we're jumping on the beer train.
Ow, I can't open it, though.
Here, have this one.
Oh, you're so strong.
I'm so strong because I'm man. I got tight grip. So, anywho, moving on.
Well, Jeff being fucking Jeff. Like, oh my God. Love the actor.
Oh, he's phenomenal, Josh Hamilton.
Phenomenal, yeah. And I remember saying to you, he looks like Matt Mercer of Critical Role.
He does look like Matt Mercer.
Yeah, young Josh Hamilton is
Matt Mercer. Matty Mercer.
Critical Role, to a fucking T.
Yeah.
But I think like the other roommates are starting to kind of see like how Jeff's being like a real like douche. Like all fucking Simon wanted, Joe Pesci's character, he just wanted a bath. When was the last time you think that he got a fucking bath?
Dude, a long time.
Yeah.
He even said, because that's why he asked for it. He was like, I'll give you 2 pages for a bath.
He was like
stroking his hair, and he was like, I'm oily as shit.
And that was during like the library scene where he obviously stood out because he had dirty hair and he was taking off all these layers of clothes. Like he has like a fucking like shoestring for a fucking belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this actually, people, and this is the one scene, if you can look this scene up on YouTube that we're about to get to.
Oh.
Monty takes Simon to class. He takes him to
Does that happen? Oh, yes, that's right.
He takes him to one of Pitt Cannon's lectures.
Oh, this scene.
And this is, if you type in
With honors.
With honors. This is the number one. This is probably the only scene you'll find on YouTube.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Because
Good
this
scene.
this is what made this, if you will, this movie, this scene. He takes him to the lecture, and you start to see Dragon Pit Cannon, man. You really do. You start to see this man for what he is.
Yeah,
he's a Republican ass.
Loves humiliating his
pessimist,
students.
he humiliates him. He asked that one girl the question, can the president, if he bombs, whatever his question was,
Yeah, if he wanted to bomb some country,
take over the world,
just because the United States needs more parking lots.
right? And then the girl was like, and he was like, well, what about Adolf Hitler or Caesar? And then she goes, but they all tried, aren't you? It's like a double standard or whatever.
Well,
you
yeah,
call it.
it's just like the reason why the U.S. became what it is because the U.S. isn't run by a Caesar, a king, a queen,
a dictator.
a dictator. It's run by
the president.
It's like it's like regular Joes.
People, yeah,
regular
and that's
people.
what Pitt Cannon.
Farmers.
Pitt Cannon, you can kind of see he's the type of person that's like, let the president be a fucking dictator.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're seeing that shit.
Yeah, which
because he's talking about because even Monty stood up. And that's what Pesci's like. Don't be a hero, boy.
Yeah,
he's like, don't do it. And he stands up and he's like, no, the president cannot bomb without Congress. He goes, don't you know, Mr. Kessler, that the president can declare war for 90 days without Congress.
Yeah.
Not know that. Well, yeah, but sit down, Mr. Kessler. At least I will be passing this course.
Ugh.
You know, all that. And then
Yeah.
Pesci starts to be Pesci, and he's all like, I told you not to stand up, boy. I told you, don't be a hero, boy. You stand up. And he starts making
like,
himself known.
Yeah, making himself known. Like, he was being, like, he was inviting that professor to
try him.
To try him,
yes.
Yeah.
But the professor hit him a little bit below the belt and made him very uncomfortable.
He did. Well, it's
because
like...
he was starting to tell, he was like, what are you, sir? You a guest here? Are you this? No, I'm a bum.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, but there's no bum. There's only the financially challenged. No, I'm a bum. I'm a Harvard bum. I'm here for the trash. He goes, you're here for the trash.
Yes.
He's like, yes.
The edible garbage.
The edible garbage,
yes.
Yeah. Harvard produces more.
Yeah. Produces the most garbage.
Produces the most garbage. What quick wit!
But see, the thing is, like, that professor, he was so small-minded when it came to his beliefs, like, politically.
Yeah.
But he also had that horrible side of him that he knows the weakness of people.
Yeah.
He knows what people hate about themselves or what their insecurities are, and he hits it. And for Joe Pesci, that he's not just homeless, but he's also an alcoholic that you can really see. He hands him that money. He's like, "Hey, what is it gonna? Is this? Oh, like
you
what
want
is he?
alcoholic bliss?
Something like Johnny Walker or what,
no,
not Johnny Walker. Wild turkey. I'm sorry, Johnny Walker. Yeah, that's expensive shit.
Expensive.
Wild turkey.
Let me guess. Wild turkey is it?
Yes.
Is that what you're drinking?
And you can tell, like, Joe Pesci's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, he's starting to take over.
Yep.
His weakness, and he also, like, even, like, still justifying the fact that, yeah, I'm a bum, and yeah, I'm gonna take your money because, yeah, I'm a bum.
I'm a bum because I'd rather drink rubbing alcohol than listen to one of your lectures anymore. So ta-ta.
Yeah.
And then
fuck yeah, I'm gonna take your money.
He says something. Buchanan says something, and then Pesci turns around and goes, "You asked the question, sir. Let me answer it." Mm-hmm. And he starts to say that the president cannot drop bombs. Because our founding parents, politically correct, our founding parents were middle-aged white farmers. And they did not want royalty to take over. Because that's what it was if you go back to 1776 and the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Like, it was. It was
saying,
us trying to...
The Constitution, it wasn't meant... Like, these weren't cemented rules.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. It wasn't a cemented rule that can't be changed. Like, they made these rules just for what they had at the time, knowing that the world changes. Yeah. And the Constitution can be modified. Mm-hmm. Like, I am not a U.S. history buff. I'm not either. You and I, we are more world history. That's just the way it is. I know... I wish we can get my older brother to to guest this podcast because he loves U.S. history. But from watching this movie and just, things that I kind of paid attention to is just the U.S., the way it was formed was to get away from having a dictator, having a queendom
King George,
and kings
fucking,
and Caesar. Things change, and that the president is supposed to be a speaker for the people.
For the people, exactly.
Yeah, he's a bum.
He's a bum. All right, Mr. Pecan? A bum.
Yeah,
exactly.
a bum. Yeah.
Simon walks out, and all the
He
students...
gets that slow clap, that one student that's just like...
And then all of a
And
sudden,
it's
everybody's standing up.
Yeah.
Kessler's leaving. Buchanan's like, Mr. Kessler!
Yeah.
He walks out, and you see Simon coughing his ass.
You see that he's like... When I first watched it, I just thought that he was really emotional because it really did hurt what was being said to him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he also like stood up, but you find out
more
that he was actually in physical pain.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that at first. I thought he was just emotional.
Yep. He was in physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
They start walking away, and after that, it's really cold out. Monty is now really like involved into Simon.
Yeah. And his well-being.
And he goes inside and he asks everybody, he says, guys, it's supposed to be below zero. Can we bring Simon in and put him in the basement? Everett, Courtney.
They call it's the cellar.
Yeah, it's the cellar.
It's not even like a room in the house. It's the fucking
You know what? Yeah,
cellar.
it is. It was a cellar. They didn't have like an indoor basement like what most of us have. They had that outdoor Twister, let's go into the open door thing, probably. But he was like, yeah, can we just put him in the cellar tonight?
Everett and Courtney were fine with it, but Jeff was like,
of course.
No, I have to study, and my what if my mom might be coming, and you know what, I can't handle this. I can't. This is too much.
I'm leaving.
For me.
Do you want to handle?
I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm gonna. Are you gonna be able to survive without me paying my rent? And then the other, they're like, yeah.
Well,
fine.
Courtney was like, yeah, leave.
Yeah,
and
get
she
outta
says
here.
that multiple times.
She does.
Everett, unfortunately, was like, I've been cut off, so I really cannot.
He's
pay.
playing it a little more on the safe side. Like he shows his like humanity a little bit more than Jeff does. It's like Courtney's in the lead, Everett, and then Jeff, and Monty's kind of like he's like kind of like back and forth.
Because you do see Everett, and especially because Jeff says to Monty when Monty's making a plate for Simon, he says, no, you're only getting one ration today.
Yes.
You're only getting one plate.
Yeah,
so
one
don't ask
portion.
for seconds. Yeah, no, just one portion. Fraser loses his shit, grabs Jeff, and just throws him against the wall. He's like, "You shit as a human being."
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't give me that shit. You just care about your thesis. Like that's all you want. You care about him now."
Yeah.
All that, which is true. He didn't give a shit about him in the beginning of the film, but now we're starting to see love.
Yeah.
And you even see Everett like, this is fucking crazy. Like him and Courtney are like, what the fuck, Jeff? Like, what is your problem?
Yeah.
He goes out, tells Simon. And Simon didn't even know that he went in and asked. Brendan asked them before Simon asked Brendan. Brendan was like, goes and tells him. Pesci was like, can I go inside?
I'll give you like a full chapter or something.
Yeah, I'll give you a full chapter if you let me sleep in the cellar tonight.
Yeah.
And he says, sorry, the cellar's flooded. So we're having problems down there. Wakes up the next morning, Simon's gone, leaves a page, and it says, you're a liar, Harvard, deals off, you're never seeing your shit again.
Mm-hmm. See, the thing, like, I wonder if, like, Pesci already got a look at the cellar.
Probably.
I feel like he just...
Probably.
It's either that or he just knew, like, yeah, you're lying, or you can't stand up to your roommates to help me out one night. Like, it's fucking below zero.
Well, it's back to him seeing him as a piece of shit, not a human being.
Yeah. You thought that he was, making a change
of let me sleep in the cellar. I'm a human.
Yeah, like
you want
one
me to
night.
die out here? It's below freezing.
Yeah.
No, dude, you're a liar. You're not. I'm
You're
not
making
a human.
excuses. Yeah.
I'm not a human.
Well, it's like he's making excuses to not sound like an asshole, but he's still being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like but you can tell it with Brendan Fraser. Like it hurt him to say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was pissed when he left, and the kids go. Everybody else goes home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Monty stays.
Yeah, when you kind of get an idea, like with Monty's like mom family, and like he's not a trust fund baby.
No. He can't afford to go
He can't
home.
afford to go home, and neither could his mom and family.
You know, it was the same. There were times I did go home, but when I came home for college, it was to work.
Yeah.
You know, there were holidays I missed. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't come home Thanksgiving.
I didn't
come
either.
home
But
any
there
holiday.
was no
but,
point to
Right.
come home. You would have to wait to go home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because with college, you didn't get a winter break.
Right.
Well, sorry. You didn't get... I mean, it would have been nice if Thanksgiving and Christmas were, like, in the same, like, week. But,
Right.
you know, if you're a college person, it's just like, okay.
One or the other.
One or the other. Are you going to go home for 2 days for Thanksgiving, or are you going to go home for a week for Christmas? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Monty gets a guest at the door, and it's
Yes.
somebody wrapped in the blanket that he gave.
The
Simon.
Harvard blanket,
The
yeah.
Harvard blanket. And you find out it's another homeless man.
Mm-hmm.
He comes and he says, Simon said that you would give me something to eat. Here to give you something. He's got his thesis. Simon gives him a quote. I don't know if you have that poem.
I might be able to find it.
But he writes him
as you talk.
He either writes him the poem or he finds the poem. I don't know what he does. But he gives him a poem, and the homeless guy reads Monty this poem.
Is it from Whitman?
I think it was. I think a lot of Whitman poems.
Well,
are in
because
this
I don't.
movie.
Did we discuss that people?
I believe we did.
Did we? The people in the library think that Joe Pesci's character is the ghost of Walt
I
Whitman?
don't think we mentioned that per se, but we did mention Walt Whitman. People
Okay.
said that they saw Walt Whitman, which
Okay.
Pesci kind of does look like Walt Whitman a little bit.
Okay, I found it. Quoting Walt Whitman, it's called Song of Myself. You shall no longer take things at second or third hand, not look through the eyes of the dead, nor feed on the spectres and books. You shall not look through the eyes neither, nor take things from me. You shall listen to all sides and filter them for yourself.
Yes.
I feel like that's the key sentence to this is you shall listen to all sides and filter them from yourself. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was it.
Yep. That's what he reads to, and he says, Monty's like, well, can I see Simon? He goes, he doesn't want to see you. He doesn't want anything to do with you anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, if you want to know where he is, I'm supposed to tell you. He's at the St. Paul's Church or whatever.
Shelter. Yeah, it's like a church that has a homeless shelter.
Yeah. And then he goes to this church, and he's like, where's the men's shelter? He goes, there ain't no shelter here.
Yeah.
Closest thing to a shelter is that alley. So he goes into the alley and is walking through all of these homeless people. People are yelling at him and, looking at him wrong. And he finds Simon, takes Simon home. And you find out, and Simon's really sick.
He's coughing really bad.
Yeah, he's really sick. Fraser's like, let me take you to the hospital. He goes, no hospital. You swear to God. You swear to me. No hospital.
Yeah, he's so adamant about not going to the hospital.
Yeah. And I think I know why.
Yeah.
And we kind of learn this later. This is my thought. But I think that he doesn't want to go to the hospital because hospital looks up records. Mm-hmm. They'll look up records. They'll do all this. And then they will contact next of kin.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And what we will find out later, but we can go ahead and talk about it now, Simon does have a son.
Yeah.
And I think that he doesn't want to go to the hospital because of they will contact his son and he will find out all. That's my thought. I don't know.
You know, I agree. I agree.
Because they don't talk about it. They don't mention why he hates the hospital.
But to piggyback on that, it also kind of forces him to kind of get back on the grid.
Right.
Like, if you want to be seen at a hospital, you have to give your information. You have to give...
Yeah.
Well, first of all, if you don't have insurance, obviously it's going to be...
An arm, and that's the rest of your life.
Yeah, the rest of your life.
Probably take your ass to jail. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, exactly. Or ask for your social security number or something where... I'm sure that Simon hasn't been, documented on anything for a very long time. Yeah. Which enabled him to go out and live this life as a nomad pretty much. And I don't know, it's like a weird thing where it's like, man, that sounds really nice, but very dangerous at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. So he takes Simon home, And Simon says, it's time for me to kiss and make up with Uncle Sam. Let me get Social Security.
Yeah.
And he becomes a roommate for the kids. He becomes a roommate with everybody.
Yeah, and Monty he gives him a key.
Gives him a key.
Yeah.
He says, you're staying here now.
But do we find out what's wrong with him?
We do.
Health-wise.
He says that it's asbestos.
Yes.
Yeah, he says asbestos because when he worked, and I don't know if we talked about this or not, but he was on the merchant.
No, I don't think we did.
He was in the Merchant Marines. He went, and that's how he goes to Bali and all this shit. Bazas and Bali, by golly.
Yeah.
But he was in the Merchant Marines, and they were breathing in the asbestos, and all of the guys that worked there got sick, and a lot of them have already died.
Yeah, and there's really no cure for it.
No,
it's just,
and that's what the doctor, because he does take him to the doctor.
He does take him to a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't take him to a hospital, but he takes him to a doctor.
Not the ER. God, not the ER.
Yeah, but he does take him to a doctor. And she explains there's no cure. This is something that's been sitting in his lungs forever. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Now it's
when it's going to happen.
Matter of when, exactly. So that's when he's like, "You're living here now. Like, you're here's a key. Enjoy." And that's when Simon's like, "Well, I'll go get Social Security then. You're letting me live with you. It's time for me to pay my way."
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want a free ride.
Right. And then Jeff comes home first,
Ugh.
sees this. Jeff's all like, he's leaving now. He's getting out of here.
He's like on the toilet, right?
Oh, and we forgot the Christmas dinner.
Oh no, not the Christmas dinner.
Fuck the Christmas dinner, man. We gotta talk about
We started getting so serious
I know,
fast.
I know, but we gotta talk about the Christmas dinner.
We do.
Well, no, we're still there. But, yeah. But this was, Jeff got home a little too early.
Yeah.
So, backing up, they do have Christmas dinner. While they're living with each other.
Simon and Monty.
Simon cooks this
elaborate
lovely meal. This like big Thanksgiving.
And I think
Christmas
that's why
feast
you
with,
got like confused thinking that
this
was
a Thanksgiving
movie. Yeah,
it's definitely.
It's both.
Arguably,
let's just say it's.
Well,
both.
It takes place. That's where I said
November.
It is in November. It starts in November, and then we jump to Christmas, and then we jump to New Year's. It is.
Yeah.
It's all over the place, this movie.
But anyway, there's this like huge bird.
Feast. Yeah, big bird in the middle of the plate. And, middle of the table. He pours a little bit of wine for Monty.
Not our type of wine. It's white wine.
It's white wine, yeah, not our wine.
Is that what you're supposed to have with turkey? I don't know.
Who the fuck knows? It's probably all you could afford or whatever it had left in the cellar.
Yeah.
So he starts to pour his wine all the way full.
Yeah.
And then he pours it into his water glass.
It's like a pint glass.
Yeah.
So he has like a to the rim wine glass and
then a 16 ounce.
A 16 ounce, like the rest of it. I'm like, dude, my kind of guy.
I know, it's so funny. And then he was like, man, Monty says, I can't believe you went out and shopped. He goes, I didn't shop. I got everything here.
Yeah.
He goes, huh? He goes, yeah, it wasn't difficult, just the plucking. And you find out he kills Everett's chicken. Yeah. He kills the cock.
He kills
the rooster.
He kills
Everett's black cock.
That big black cock.
A big black cock. And now Jeff comes home. We can talk about it.
Big cock coming out of your mouth.
Big cock coming out of your mouth. Yeah. Corky! Jeff comes home, walks into the bathroom. Simon's taking a shit. And Jeff is all like, he's getting out of here. Like, let him leave. He's leaving. Everett, Courtney walk in. Fraser's like, fine, Jeff. You know, he can pay his way. He's one of our roommates now.
Yeah.
And then Courtney was like, Jeff, you can just leave then. Simon will pay your way.
Yep.
Like, he'll take over your side of the rent. We don't care. Well, now we find out Simon is making French toast one morning.
Is that is that before the obituary?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is before. So he's making, because this is how Jeff starts to now kind of.
That's how he kind of wins over Jeff. Over French toast.
He makes French toast, but it's not how he wins him over.
I know.
And he has, so Jeff comes downstairs and is like, are you making French toast? I love French toast. He goes, even if it's made by my hands.
Yeah.
Like, you'll still love it if I make it, Jeff.
Yeah, because he didn't see.
And then he opens the oven and pulls out his socks, and he's like, 250 degrees?
Yep. This is a quote that Jarokk loves to make out of.
In the wintertime.
Yep, in the wintertime. This is around the time, so here we go.
Says,
please, take it away.
250 degrees for 5 minutes. I love my toast toasty warm.
But you've never physically have done it in my presence.
I have. I used to do it in Hollywood all the time.
Well,
I used
not,
to do it.
not around me.
Yeah, I used to do it. Yes, you did. So
No.
one morning when I was going to work, and a cold December Los Angeles day, I was going to work at 4 a.m, and I did. I put my socks in the oven.
Was this in North?
This was in North Hollywood when we lived in North.
Oh my god!
When we lived in North Hollywood, I put my socks in the
I
oven.
remember.
And you texted me. If I had my old phone, I would have still had this message from you. You texted me this novel of how I can never do that again because all you smelled was burning fabric the rest of the day.
Oh my god,
Yes.
I remember!
Yes, you were so mad at me. And I was just like, whatever, I feel great.
The apartment smelled horrible.
I know.
It was like an iron was on and slept under a wool of fabric
Yep.
all night. It smelled like burnt asshole.
Yeah, but you know what? My feet were warm.
They were toasty warm.
They were toasty warm. I like my feet toasty warm.
Yeah.
So,
But
anywho.
great, thanks for that.
Welcome.
One thing I want to mention before we get like too serious into the movie, because I know it's about to get like
Really serious.
it's about to get real. There are two moments, and one of them is like kind of in like the beginning. It's after Brendan Fraser takes Joe Pesci to Social Security for the first time.
Yeah.
The deal was he has to go in the building, and they get to go to the movies.
To the movies, yeah.
And if you notice, the movie is like
Looney Tunes.
a Looney Tunes festival. And then later on,
They're watching.
they're watching Looney Tunes. And it kind of like clicked this light bulb over my head. Did Joe Pesci kind of like study Looney Tunes cartoons for his comedic character? Because he kind of has that Looney Tunes
Oh boy, oh boy.
like a boing, oh boing, oh yeah, I tell you, like
Yeah.
it's,
He does, though.
it's. I wonder if that was on purpose.
God, that makes a lot of sense.
Because they don't really bring it up. It's just, you know, the lettering at the movie theater, and then on the TV you can either hear that it's Looney Tunes, like you can.
No, you know it's Looney Tunes.
You
Bugs
know
Bunny.
it's Looney Tunes. Like you hear whatever voice, it's, you know, Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck. And I kept trying to think, like, what character is he doing? And I'm thinking maybe more like Daffy Duck.
Yeah. No,
In my
yeah,
opinion.
maybe. I don't know.
But that's like my thing that I kind of caught that you haven't
Brought up.
You haven't brought up, but I wanted to wait to bring that up for this recording, and I wanted to see what you thought about that.
I think that's a very interesting idea, and I think that's, I agree with you. I think that's possible. I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah, and I just remember, like, Looney Tunes was a big part of Nickelodeon, like, later at night.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching all those old school Looney Tune cartoons. They had a lot of war cartoons
Yeah, the Looney Tunes.
that had to do with, like, bombings and being in, like, planes, like fighter pilots and submarines. And I just kind of got this, like, connection with Joe Pesci, like, being that Looney Tunes character, but also, like, he was in the military.
He was in the Merchant Marines.
Marines.
Yeah.
Well, Marines, I think military. Like, there's just that, like, connection that I remember with Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of political cartoons.
Yeah. They
Like
did.
I feel like more so than Disney. Ooh,
buddy.
Opie, are you okay, bud? Like, Disney did a lot of racial stereotypes, but Looney Tunes did a lot of political cartoons. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was just something that I wanted to.
I think that's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think that's very possible. And that does make a lot of sense, especially because they talk about all the bombings and shit in the movie. So...
The other roommates are like, yeah, it's fine. He can stay. He's paying his way.
Yeah.
He's fine.
But he wins Jeff over because he
With
says
the
to
French
Jeff with the
toast.
French toast. Well, no, because he says to Jeff, he goes, "Do you know why you hate me so much, Jeffrey?"
Yes.
It's like, why? And he goes, "Because I look the way that you feel."
Yep.
And then that's what kind of opened Jeff's eyes a little bit. And Jeff was like, fuck.
Well, because also we didn't bring up, like, Jeff honestly has no idea what he's doing.
No, he doesn't. He does.
He got into Harvard with... I'm not saying that he's, like, not a smart student, but he is, like I said, like a coddled child, and he wanted to be in like the medical industry, and they make these jokes about him not ever having a woman, and he wants to be a gynecologist.
He wants to be a gynecologist.
Yeah.
It's like the only way you'll get somebody to drop their trousers for you.
Yeah. I feel like he's just like afraid of being like, they can make fun of whatever about his like love life or, you know, his parents, but he is afraid of not feeling like he fits the grade as a Harvard student because he pretended to print out his thesis, but they were all blank pages. He admitted to Monty, like, yeah, I have a page. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am fucking terrified.
Yep.
That's him, like, laying it out, finally. Like, he puts on this facade of just being like an uptight Harvard student, but really he is this scared child that has no idea what's going on, and he is just going to have this degree and not know how to function like in society.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't know see, that's the thing, like with Joe Pesci saying, because he says like, I look the way you feel. Like, what's your take on that? Like,
because Joe Pesci he's
like
sad,
failure?
He's poor, he's a failure.
Okay,
So it's like, or he's a quitter.
maybe.
And that's what Jeff sees. Jeff is afraid.
Afraid of failure?
I think
No.
Jeff's afraid of the fact that Jeff might end up homeless and poor
Okay.
and a bum because of the fact that he thinks he's stupid. He thinks he can't get anywhere.
He's in over his head.
Yes, and
Okay.
I think that's what he is afraid of.
Okay,
And that's what Pesci kind of mentions. Pesci's like, I look the way that you feel. Like, you feel like
Yeah.
a homeless,
Bum.
hopeless,
Yeah. Quitter.
quitter bum.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you feel, and that's, you know, and...
Okay. So I'm glad that we talked about that, because I wasn't too sure at first, but now like that because we try to like not talk too much about our opinions on films,
Yeah.
so we can save it for the podcast.
Right.
Like, I like to quote for us, but
Exactly.
then Simon's like an official roommate. They have like a little fun montage of him like kind of being the fun crazy roommate kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then is this when the obituary?
Yeah, he brings up the obituary.
He
drops a bombshell on Monty, and he says,
yes,
yes, I had a son. Or he lets Monty read the obituary, and the obituary was like...
a confession, almost.
Yeah, he was like, survived by his son and his wife. And he said, you had a son and a wife? And he goes, yeah. And he left him. He did. He abandoned him.
Yeah.
He did what Monty's dad did. He just left his son. His son wasn't even...
He was a kid.
Yeah, he was. I think he was probably still a baby. And his son had no idea who he was. Mm-hmm. He left his son, and Monty is all like, now kind of annoyed at this. And Pesci has that line where he says, you know... Harvard, it all looks completely different going out than it does on the way in. Like, he's about to die, and he is seeing that what he did was wrong.
Yeah. And I feel like it took meeting Monty and getting to know him and somewhat be like a father figure in a way where he like gives his knowledge, that he finally got to confront what he did and start to process what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
And he wants to fix it.
Exactly. Yep.
Or he might have that or hopefully he would have that opportunity to fix it, because pretty much like what we know is that Simon, it's just, they didn't even give him like a time limit or like how long he has left to live. It's just when it happens, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But also, I guess we have to like, after the obituary, there's that biggest party of the year.
The pajama party.
Pajama jam party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, didn't anybody tell you? It's a pajama party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is I guess like a big moment for Simon to kind of call Monty out on being in,
Courtney.
not even just liking, but being in love with
Courtney.
Courtney. And here's the thing that I looked up he says this poem or this thing about love, and that woman that comes up to him and says, "Would you like to dance?"
Yeah.
That was Joe Pesci's wife at the time.
No shit.
Yes.
That was his wife?
I looked it up. It's all over the internet.
Oh my god.
That
oh my god.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know what like the age difference was, but look wise, college student.
She was gorgeous.
How dare you?
No. You're better. You're better.
No, it's not that. It's
oh,
just
okay.
like, because like she's gorgeous, and what, Joe Pesci can't have a gorgeous woman?
No, he
wife?
can most definitely have a gorgeous wife. That's perfectly fine. But the man, she looked like she was 20 fucking 2.
I know.
And he had to have been fucking in his...
I don't know.
He had to have been in his 50s or 40s for this film.
Really?
He had to have been in his 50s. I think he's older than my dad. I don't even think he was born in fucking 52.
43.
That's what I fucking thought.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking thought.
Hey, go Pesci.
When you got money, man.
I don't know. Go Pesci. He's got a great personality.
You know what?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
fuck the money. I would.
You just want to be with someone that makes you laugh.
I would. I love fucking Joe Pesci. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You want to be with someone that makes you laugh.
Yeah, Harley Quinn.
Is that Harley Quinn?
I don't fucking know.
Is that what I sounded like to you?
You sounded like Harley Quinn.
Oh. Mr. J. Anyway.
All right.
But Brendan Fraser finally gets over his bullshit and says to Courtney, "I'm ending our friendship."
Yeah, I'm ending our friendship, and
And
then
they
makes
make
out.
out and they make love all night.
Yeah, and then they wake up to Simon coughing on his hands and knees outside their door, and he was like, "I just didn't want to be alone."
Yeah.
Simon talks about a dog he had that
Yeah.
wandered off into the woods to die.
Alone.
And
He even said, like, if you went up to the dog to try to, like, get him, he would snap at you and bite at you. Like,
he just wanted to die.
He just wanted to,
yeah. He just wanted to be alone and die. Shush, baby.
Shush,
We're almost
baby.
done. So he says to Monty, "Can you please take me to see my son? I want to see my son before.
And it's like the next day. Like, if I live through this night.
I want you to take me to see my son."
Yeah, and the next day, that's the same day that his thesis is due. And I love this moment because without even thinking about it, he was just like, yes. And even like Courtney was like, that's...
Your thesis.
Like Courtney and Jeff were like, that's when his thesis is due. There's no way to get an extension. We learned that either then or after. But yeah, if you turn in your thesis late, for some reason, that disqualifies you from graduating with honors.
Summa cum laude, yeah.
Whatever. But, yeah, Monty's like, without question, yes, we are going to take you, no matter what. They got the van, Joe Pesci got the van working. I don't know if you mentioned that.
No, I didn't, but he did. He got the van working again during one of the montages.
Yeah, one of the montages. So they took the van, and this is where Jeff gets a little redemption.
Yeah, he's like, "Can I come?"
Yeah,
He found out Monty was throwing away his chance at summa cum laude for Joe Pesci, and was like, "Can I come?
Yeah.
Can I come with you guys?"
And I love it, and they're just like, "Yeah."
Yep, come on.
Yeah, and I just love this moment because it was just like, not only did they have like that montage of them like bonding as roommates, but this road trip really like put the seal on not just bonding but becoming a family.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, I'm like getting like overclamped.
I'm getting verklempt
for this.
Yeah, so they're driving on and they get to the house. They get to his son's
This
house.
Amazing.
Yeah, this fucking
Huge
mansion.
house.
The complete opposite, like, of him. Like, his son became something, man.
Yeah.
He became something. He answers the door in a suit. Like, they really wanted you to know this kid is...
He is somebody.
He's somebody. He answers the door. He's all smiles. He's all like, "Yeah, hi, how are you?" And Brendan Fraser's like, "Hi, my name's Monty, whatever. Your father's outside, and he wants to talk to you." Mm-hmm. He was like, "I don't have a father. So please, he's very sick. He's very ill. He just wants to meet you.
He doesn't have
He doesn't have long. He just wants to meet you." And he says, "Fine." So he goes out, takes a look at him. Pesci's trying to clean himself up.
Oh my
he's
God.
trying to look really
presentable.
Yeah, he's like wiping his hair. He's like checking his clothes, and he looks up at his son. He just says, "You look good. You know,
Yeah.
you look good." And his son's all like,
You don't look like much.
You don't look like much. You're nothing. Like, where were you? Like, why'd you leave? Like, all those questions.
Yeah.
And
which is understandable. Like, I can see it from both sides.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to pick sides.
Yeah.
But because we know Simon so well, it's easier to pick his side.
And then, oh my God. And then he just starts talking. He's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It sounds like I don't give a shit about your forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And then he has a granddaughter. His granddaughter comes up and goes, mm-hmm. Daddy, who's this man? And his son just says, it's nobody, baby. I know, baby girl.
It's so
I know.
sad, right,
He says, it's nobody, baby. It's nobody. And this is where I did, and I will gladly say that I did cry. Because this is such a fucking moment. This is such a sad moment. Like, Joe Pesci, fucking amazing actor that he is.
Phenomenal acting in this scene.
Fucking moment. As soon as that little girl, as soon as his son says it's nobody, he starts to lose his shit. And at the same time, he's trying to hold back.
He's holding back, but like, for me,
he's losing
it. It's this sense of shame, but also pride.
Right.
Because I believe that he is happy for his son, that he's so accomplished and he has a beautiful family. And I think that's why he grabs a stone.
Because he wants to remember
He wants to remember the time
that moment
where he re-met his son and he got to get a glimpse of his granddaughter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, fucking heartbreaking.
God.
So then they're driving off, and Simon is just...
So even just that car ride, silence.
Yeah. And he's staring at a picture of what I believe was him, his wife, and his son.
Yeah, it was this,
like... necklace wrapper on.
It was a locket that he's been wearing since the beginning of the film. Like, the first time I remember seeing it was the bathtub scene.
Yeah. Yeah, he wears this locket, and he's looking at it, and it's family pictures. Mm-hmm. And he's screaming for them to stop the car. He gets out of the car. He starts to wander off into the woods.
Yeah, and
starts to wander off.
Everyone else, does he have to take a piss? And Brendan Fraser's like, the dog.
The dog. And he runs out. He's trying to grab him. Pesci pushes him. Mm-hmm. Pesci just drops. And Monty's like, you're not a dog.
Yeah,
you're not a dog. And they take him home. And now he's on his deathbed. He is
pretty much
dying.
Yeah.
And they're all reading him what I believe is more Whitman.
It is. Well, it's a Walt Whitman book.
They were reading him more of Whitman as he was dying. And they have that beautiful scene of all four of them reading a chapter.
Like, I love that
scene. One paragraph is Everett. One paragraph is Courtney. One paragraph is Jeff. One paragraph is Monty.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Beautiful moment.
Yes.
All four of them. And then, unfortunately, he does die.
He does.
And he wrote an obituary.
He
did. He wrote.
And like Monty, we didn't mention this, but Monty gave him advice about
things you should be proud of.
Yeah, you should write instead of just writing about like facts about yourself, write about what you're proud of or what brought you happiness in life.
Yeah, and this I will read.
You can read, and
I will read this.
And just like to set the scene, it's only
the four of them.
The four of them at his funeral.
Yeah, at his grave.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, bud.
I know. This is a sad moment.
So, this is
the obituary.
The obituary that Simon wrote. He saw the world out of the porthole of a leaky freighter, was a collector of memories, and interrupted a lecture at Harvard. In 50 years on Earth, he did only one thing he regretted. He survived by his family, Jeff Hawkes, who always remembers to flush, Everett Calloway, who knows how to use words, Courtney Blumenthal, who is strong and also knows how to love, and by Montgomery Kessler, who will graduate life with honor and without regret.
Yeah.
And that is my favorite line in this entire film.
That's your line of the week.
That is my line. Line of the week.
I love it.
He will graduate life with honor and without regret.
Yeah. Graduate life with honors. Because
exactly.
Here's the thing. Did that happen before or after he met with his mentor with his newly revised thesis? Before.
I believe it was before, yeah.
Okay. Because, he meets with the mentor. Mm-hmm. The mentor rereads his thesis, and he's like, well, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, pretty much like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, so you aren't pretty much saying what I believe. You are your own thinker. You are coming up with your own ideas. You're not blowing smoke up my ass. You're not trying to suck up to me or graduate with honors. Like, you actually have a voice. But I commend you with this. I do not agree with you, but unfortunately, rules are rules.
Because Dragon Buchanan even says, do you know how many people don't agree with what I believe?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he says that. And that's where you really see that Buchanan, even though he is an asshole throughout the whole film, he admires now, like you were kind of saying, he admires now that Monty went his own way.
Yes.
He admires it, but you were just saying, unfortunately, you were late.
Yeah. And that's a thing that I really enjoyed with this film, because with a lot of movies, there's this moment, I think Scent of a Woman does it, where, okay, forget the rules. You're the hero of this film, so you get everything.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is real life. Like, there are deadlines. There are rules. It doesn't. You're great. You are a special person, but you are not above everyone else that was able to make it with the deadline.
Yeah.
Like, I know you went through this amazing journey, this amazing transformation, but this is real life. You missed the deadline, unfortunately. And I feel like he even said it, like, unfortunately, you do not get to graduate with honors. And Brendan Fraser does this amazing thing where he stands up and he shakes his hand and says, thank you for your mentoring. Thank you for.
And Pitt Cannon, who calls him Mr. Kessler throughout the entire film, says, good luck, Mont. Are you gonna do that shit?
Why do you like to... Opie loves to drink water.
I know, we're getting into meat!
We're in the
almost done, buddy!
pivotal moment of this film.
Almost done, buddy!
And you gotta drink water.
Little shit! Alright, anywho.
We love our dogs.
Yes, we do. So...
That was a good moment.
Goddamn, yes. Where was I? So he says, Mr. Kessler the entire fucking movie until he says, good luck, Monty.
Yes.
He calls him by his first name.
He sees him as somewhat of an equal.
Yes.
I don't want to say a full equal, but...
And then you start to see goodness in Buchanan. You
Yeah.
start to see that what is the Dragon Buchanan a facade for his students? Is he that hard-ass fucking teacher that is hard because life is a bitch?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, we had Simon to show us what life can be like that. But Buchanan, is he really that hard? Because, and of course, politics. I don't know jack tits about politics. So it's like, yeah, probably that's what politics is. It's a fucking hard fucking life, and that's probably what Buchanan was doing.
Probably. Like, he has his beliefs, and he comes out as, like, the dragon.
Yeah.
And what's more, I mean, I'm just thinking, like with, like, fantasy, what's more scary than a fucking dragon? A dragon is always, like, in my little mind of fantasy, that's the main bad guy that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
So, like, the dragon...
Ultimate boss at D&D.
Yeah, the ultimate... I mean, why else is it, like, called... It's
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
You go through dungeons, and then a dragon.
And then you fight a fucking
You fight a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Not just bending at its will, saying, okay, Michelle.
Michelle!
Yeah,
Yes.
let me just, I'll write whatever the fuck you want. Just give me an A. Give me
Right.
that recommendation. Put me on the dean's list.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they graduate, and...
They're walking out, all four of them.
They're all four of them. They're happy. Like, fuck, he graduated from fucking Harvard. They all did.
Yeah.
With honors from
Who
Harvard.
the fuck cares
Like,
with honors or not? You just
I know,
graduated from
exactly.
Harvard.
But that's, like, the thing with, like, Joe Pesci's character. Like, he taught real life to every character.
Yeah.
Like, he brought, like, look, this is what regret is like. This is what going through hard times is like. That's the thing. It's like names and status mean nothing. It's like, you know, what have you really been through in your life?
Exactly.
So
Yeah. And then you see Fraser picks up a stone.
Yes!
He picks up a rock. At the gate of Harvard.
The gate of Harvard.
And
This
he
is
just
his
catches
moment.
it, and then you get Madonna. And then we get Madonna.
Oh, we get Madonna.
Oh, Madonna.
Well, didn't Joe Pesci like say something about Madonna in the movie? Like
He
something,
did. Or
he
no,
said-
what?
no, he did. He mentioned like, oh, Madonna. Like, oh, fuck, I can't remember, but I know he does talk about
He
Madonna.
does mention Madonna.
I can't remember
just can't remember
what
when.
scene. Talking about her like taking her clothes off or something.
Yeah, I
can't
can't remember, but he does mention Madonna.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so that's with honors.
That's with honors,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, personal favorite. Well, the question comes to: will you watch this movie without me?
I will. Like, I am not going to go out and say that this is the most profound, life-changing film ever, but it became this soft spot for me to rethink what real accomplishments in life are. Is it your status? Is it how much money you make? Is it what your fucking status is at your job? Whether you're, the CEO of something, whether you're driving a fucking Ferrari. Like, it's that fucking 50s mentality of you are married, you have kids, you have a house. It's that box that we were engraved, tattooed in our minds, that's what makes a successful, happy human being. No, it's real moments in life that make you want to relive it over and over again, that make you happy. Yeah. Go through adventures. Just go out and experience life. Don't try to check a box. All those like the status and just the grades, like grades are fucking nothing to me.
Oh yeah. No.
Now, like really just like experiencing life. And
I know people with A+ that are probably some of the most
worldly people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just, I mean, it's not like great, good for you. If you were able to have like good grades.
If you have the book smarts, that's amazing.
Book smarts, that's awesome. But at the same time, I feel like book smart people would wish that they had our street smarts,
exactly.
Our experiences.
Exactly.
But that's what I take from this film. It's a very easy movie to watch where there's good comedy, there's
it's good balance.
It's a really good balance, yeah. And it's not too hard.
No, not at all.
Yeah, easy script. I know people like. When I read, like, they were bashing it, that it was too predictable.
My ass.
There's nothing wrong.
Predictable.
There's nothing wrong with having movies that are predictable. No. Sometimes you just want to watch a movie that, like a feel-good movie, or something that just brings out different emotions in you.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
Yes, good.
Yeah, to finish my answer.
Fuck yeah, I love that monologue.
Look at you. This monologue.
Got it.
Yeah.
Bing! Got him! Alright, so what do you got in store for me?
Well, this has been really hard. I probably have gone through like 5 different movies that I know at some point I definitely want you to watch, but we've gone a little hard with movies, like with like scary movies, like deep movies, and because you did like a college movie,
yeah.
I want to keep up with the college theme just for now and do something a little more lighthearted. It's like a romantic comedy, boys and girls.
Yeah, I don't know this one. We might have tried to watch it, honestly. We might have, because what's his name? Jason Biggs.
Yeah, it stars Freddie Prinze Jr., Claire Forlani. She's in Meet Joe Black. That's the only other movie that I can really think of that she's in. But yeah, Jason Biggs. It's another funny, like, stereotypical type of movie, like, where you're younger and you're not even like close to being in college, really, but you're like, oh, okay, this is what college is going to be like. But Claire, I cannot say her name right. Is it like Claire Forlani or Claire for?
It's probably Forlani. I don't know. Forlani sounds right.
Yeah, I'm really bad with.
Oh, that's the chick from Green Street Hulu.
Yeah, I know she's in Meet Joe Black, but I was obsessed with her in this movie because I loved her fashions. It was very early 2000s fashion, and she was just that type of girl that was like a mystery, but like really cool girl, but also like hot cool girl. Mm-hmm. But it's a fun movie, and if you don't remember us watching it, that's even better.
No, I don't remember.
I am not too sure you're going to enjoy this movie, but I like it.
Let's give it a go. We'll see how it goes.
For sure.
All right, everybody. Well, I think we're about at time. So, again, Thank you all for joining us this fine evening.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes. Review, subscribe. It helps us a lot. We love to hear some more feedback about what you guys think about this podcast and anything else you would like to hear. We added our favorite lines of the movie.
Yeah, what are your favorite lines?
Yeah.
Of this particular film, if you watched it.
Yeah.
And for other films with this, boys and girls, watch this one and then let us know what you guys think about it. Let us know what your favorite lines from this particular film would be. So, all right, I think that about covers it.
Yeah, for sure. Check us out on all social media networks. We are all there.
Yeah.
Movies in Contemplation.
Fuck yeah, everybody. Thanks and have a great night.
Yes, great night.
Love you, Maddie Mercer.
So aggressive with our goodbyes now. Bye.
Bye.
Boy, oh boy.